Welcome back, folks. This is Tommy, Help with Gadgets, and you see a little doodad sitting here on the mat here. That's because we're going to do a disassembly and cleaning of the and I lost my train. The card is F3. This is the medium Wharny, and so let's go ahead and get into this interesting little knife. The 3D printed pivot tool is there because I could not find I couldn't find them online, and I did find that there was a 3D printed one, so I went ahead and had my son-in-law make that for me. All right, and let's go ahead and T8 on the body screw. Let's drop that out. I think, well, T8 there as well. Alright, and this should be a fairly simple and straightforward cleaning. Got a little grit and grime in here, so let's get it apart. Get those cleaned up. These big pivots are a little bit harder to get into the alcohol, so we'll wipe those down here in just a moment. All right, let's do that later. Get an alcohol swab here and start wiping down all of this. Wipe down the detent ball, lock face. Do the same thing for here. We had a stop pin there, and that's loose. So let's tighten that up. And I believe this one's loose as well. Now they may have loosened when we unloosen the other, so not a big deal. And I'm just wiping this back spacer off. I'll wipe this stop pin, and we'll remember to put that one back in place. Let's go ahead and get the blade. Now this is interesting. This is done a little differently than most knives that I've seen. Where the pivot goes through is a little thinner than I would expect. It's not thin by any means, because the blade stock on this knife is pretty thick, as you can see here. But this is thinner. This is a different way of doing it than what I'm normally see. So let's go ahead and wipe that down. We're going to grab a cotton swab and kind of clean those crevices out, as well as making sure that where the detent ball, or where the stop pin rides, is also clean. We'll make sure that lock face is good. All right, let's wipe down. If I could talk this evening, and I can use this, just fits in those little holes and allows me to turn it. Wiping that down, and see there's a space there between that. Let me I'm going to pause the video for a moment and take a look at something, and I'll be right back. All right, what I was checking on was making sure that I grabbed a pair of pliers and made sure that this was seated all the way. All right, let's go ahead and clean these bearings and start getting this back together. Let's see, there we go with the bearing. And the other bearing. And then I'm going to grab that pivot screw grab the handy dandy pivot tool and clean those threads. Getting any junk off of there that I can. Alright, we'll set that to the side there. Alright, you'll notice that this stop pin goes through and is held in place by these large pivot collars. Alright, let's get these cleaned out. Just make sure we don't have any junk in there. And the same goes for this side. Alright. We'll go ahead and drop that one in on that side. We'll drop this stop pin there. I like placing these open-ended bearings in the deeper part. In this case, it would be what's cut out in the blade. Going to use a little bit of gunny glide, and we'll go ahead and pop that on. Go ahead and slide this back spacer on as well. We'll slide. Ha! That popped up a little bit when I picked it up. Alright. Pop that on. A little bit of gunny glide on this side. Let's do that detemp ball. Just to see if we can get a drop to come out. I don't want to. There we go. I didn't want to squeeze it out of there. We've got the. Make sure we've got the stop pin in. All right. We're going to put a little bit of blue Loctite there on. That in place and hopefully tighten it down. Okay. Alright. So what I've discovered as I was putting it back together is that I had tightened these down, but it's not letting that back spacer seat all the way. So I'm loosening these and then we'll tighten them back as we're getting everything back together. There we go. So that's seated that. Got two different sized screws here, it looked like. One for the clip and one for the just a body screw. We'll get those two tightened. Close that carefully because I think we've still got some adjusting to do. And I'm going to tighten the body screws. And then we're going to adjust this a little bit more. Yeah, that brought it more. And that may be a little too much, so let's back off just a hair. Got a little bit off center, so let's tighten it back up. Centering is better. Okay, I think we're good. And once it'll start being easier to move once all that gunny glide starts to move around a little bit. Too much oil will attract dirt, but so that's why I use just a little bit. But there you have it. That is the Curtis Knives F3 medium Wharny. You've got a disassembly and cleaning of it. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed the content. Subscribe if you haven't done so and wish to. And leave a comment. I surely do appreciate it. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you.